Assalamu'alaikum. My name is Hanie I'm 16 years old and I'm from Madrasah Al-Junaid.
Assalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Farhan bin Muhammad Ilyas. I am 23 years old. I'm currently pursuing my studies in Yarmouk University in Jordan. Currently doing my year 3 in Arabic language and literature.
Assalamu'alaikum. My name is Muhammad Irshad. I'm the Head of Corporate Affairs for ASEAN at Tata Consultancy Services. And I'm also the founder and president of Rose of Peace, a non-profit interfaith initiative. And I'm 31 this year.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Rizali bin Ahmad. I'm a Master Class 1 Certificate of Competency. That means I'm a ship's captain. And I'm doing the ad hoc job as a harbour pilot in Brunei. My age, I'm 64, so my next birthday is 65.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Abdullah Ahmad. I'm currently 26 this year and I'm currently working at Safina Institute as a content executive.
Lately, the election just over, finished. Then this COVID-19, the pandemic, really hits everybody else, not only me. This is the thing that I'm really aware of.
To be honest, 2020 has been a roller coaster ride because all these cases and all the things that are happening around us, coronavirus, the Yemen crisis, we also have the BLM movement lately because of the oppression against the black people in the US. We also have the explosion in Lebanon, in Beirut. So we can see that humans somehow are unite to face the situations, face the problems together.
2020 was a very promising year in terms of my career growth as well as my involvement in a non-profit organization and the work that I do in Parliament. However, with COVID-19, I think all our plans were sort of put to one side and we had to come up with new plans to adjust the new normal. What's going on globally? I think 2020 has been an unprecedented year. We haven't seen anything like this in our generations or the generations before us. We are going to face with the worst health pandemic globally, and we are going to be facing one of the worst recession ever in modern history. And what we're also seeing with lots of social fissures that's happening across the world, the Black Lives Movement, with the rhetorics of religious extremism that's happening across the world, and with a lot of very polarizing forces at play. 2020, I hope, will come to an end, and after the night there's always the dawn. So we're hoping that the dawn will come upon us soon.
Among all those events, the Black Lives Matter movement would be, to me, was not really impacted me personally, but made me empathize with them, as because in Singapore we can see that majority of the times we're all multicultural together and we can coexist with each other. But unfortunately in the West, the mindsets there aren't the same as us. So unfortunately, just because of our skin colours, different skin colours and races, we are being judged and we are being treated differently in a harsher way. So I feel saddened by that. Even in this era right now, people are still acting like that and having those mindsets when they should actually be progressing and advancing to a better and more positive mindsets for everyone. I would say 6 honestly, because as a student, one of the biggest struggles I faced was when classes were conducted online. So because it was something new, we hadn't really done it before. So it was sort of a new experience when the teachers are trying to deliver their message and deliver their teachings to us, but through online is a different way of teaching. So the teachers have to try to accommodate their teachings towards the online system. So sometimes to me and also to some of my friends, it may not click to us as faster or as easier as when we're being taught online, in person.
I'll put 8 or 9, but it's really affect me. Affect me of course I have some money, but again to generate more money, I have to do some work. Correct? I don't invest or put my money in the bank. I don't buy share, everything, no. So if it really affect me, I have no income anymore. So like the proverb Melayu cakap, gunung ikut-ikut pun habis kan. So I'm like I say, I'm comfortable with what I have now. I have enough money to cover myself until I die. But then again, I like doing jobs, piloting, rig move, all this baju. I like to do this stuff. This is my career. I've been doing it for almost 20 years. Really affect me when I say if I cannot do this job, perform this job anymore. Besides the money, and also when you do this job, your mind is working. I'm not any younger, I'm 64, next 65. So if I do my job, I realize my mind is still okay.
I can say 8 over 10 to 9 over 10 because we were on lockdown in Jordan, if I'm not mistaken, it was in February. So we were just there, we cannot go anywhere until we were told to come back to Singapore. So we all came back to Singapore, did our SHN, 14 days at home. Now what I can do is just to work, because we also got an update from Jordan that they will be starting the education system in campus. So there will be no more online learnings on online examinations, and so we won't be able to do anything about it. We cannot go back and we cannot proceed with our studies online, so we just have to fill our time here doing beneficial things.
In the line of work that I'm in, which is technology consultancy, what we are faced with is a business continuity crisis across industries. Every company that has business continuity plans that were in place, they were suddenly set back with the realization that at first, when you had one office that was down, you can move to another office location, and then when you within the same city, if both offices were down, you can go to another city within the same country. But if not, you can move from one country to another country. But you are now faced with a situation where you can either go to another country, nor can you go to another office. Within the same setup and structure, how do you then continue to operate? So any business continuity plan that was really in place, be it a corporate organization, be it a non-profit organization, or the parliamentary work that was involved in, we are having to rethink primarily how we do business and how we operate as an entity.
Okay, so something similar didn't happen during the time of the Sahaba. In fact, actually back then there were a lot of plagues that happened, and one of which was the plague of Amwas. This happened during the time of Sayyidina Umar when he was caliph, when he was a khalifa. And what happened was that this plague affected a region in Sham. Sham now is like Syria, and so a lot of the Muslims were afflicted. Not just the Muslims, but everyone, the Christians, the Muslims, whoever was living within that region was affected, and the loss was high. And what we can learn from them is that they had these three things. They were optimistic, they were patient, and they were also, at the same time, they kept helping one another. Even some of the close companions like Abu Ubaidah, he were the ones who were afflicted with this. But what happened was that they used this opportunity to reflect on themselves and hold themselves accountable for what they've done. Okay, so instead of being negative about the issues, they focused more on what they could do. So on a personal level, they focused more on their ibadah. They did a cleansing of their heart. Okay, they did a lot of self-reflection, and they improved their relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is important, because at all times, we should always remember that we should go back to God in times of ease and also in times of hardship. But especially when we are afflicted during times of hardship, of course, we're gonna be calling out for help, right? And so this sort of positive attitude as a community helped them in overcoming this issue. And so likewise, in our condition right now, on a personal level, of course, it affects us. But it should not dampen our spirits. Instead, we should always find new opportunities for us to make use of this time. Perhaps on a personal level, reflect on ourselves. Okay, how we can be better Muslims, how we can be better family members, because of course we're all stuck at home most of the time, right? To be better friends, be better community members. And this is the second aspect that the companions during the time of their plague, the plague of Amwas, is that they helped one another. And similarly for us, we should always try to be more aware of how we can help one another. Not just you and me, but also the people around us. Try look out for people who are in need, because this is something that affects us globally, right? And so all of us are affected, the rich, the poor, but the ones who are most affected are the ones who are poor. And for that, Allah always reminds us that for us, we need to stand together, we need to be together, and in order to achieve that, we also have to look out for one another, and especially for those who are most affected. And the ones who are most affected need us as well, okay? And so we should be actively seeking how we can help others. Of course, for me, I think that we are all in a better state than those who are underprivileged. And so our duty is to seek them, to help them, and through that process of helping one another, inshallah, Allah will guide us and Allah will grant us more blessings, inshallah.
No point a lot of money if your health is not there.
If you think too much of negative things, it won't really help you with your situation.
I just think of what I am able to do and what is not in my control.
When you think you've arrived at a solution, then you realize that there's always a better way to do certain things.
In Islam, okay, patience is in the sadamatil ula, during the first strike of calamity.